Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott, DiyDreaming, and I'm super excited about this video today about our projects. If you've been watching DiyDreaming for any amount of time, you know that I'm completely obsessed with making stuffies. Some people call those soft signs. I call them stuffies. And anyways, I have some ideas that are patriotic that you could use for 4th of July. You could just use them for Memorial Day. You could just use them for any time of the year that you feel like. So as you're hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions, all that good stuff. Okay, so behind me, we're gonna build this little banner, which this is just gonna be the start of it because we're gonna do some more, maybe tomorrow. And I'm also gonna show you how to make these. And I have tons of ideas. So let me put this back up here and let's talk about what is involved. Okay, well, the first thing that you obviously need is your stuffing. You can't make stuffies if you don't have stuffing. And this is what I like the best, but you know, use what you have or take a pillow apart if you don't have any. Pick apart a pillow that you don't love anymore, or you can use plastic bags, scrunch them all up, stuff them in there. But this is Polyfill Crafter's Choice from Walmart, and it's specifically for dolls and toys, and it's kind of stiff, and that's why I like it. And I just had to buy a new bag, but it's been a while. Okay, and then this is a Dollar Tree star shape that I'm using as my pattern. We're going to be using canvas duck, and I'm getting down to the very bottom of my supply of that. I usually get this at Walmart. We're going to be using some red ticking fabric that I also usually pick up at Walmart. We're going to be using some blue ticking fabric that I also usually pick up at Walmart. We're going to be using some dowels that also came from Walmart. We're going to be using some of these little wheels, little wooden wheels, and you can get these at Hobby Lobby, any craft store. I don't know where I got these. I don't recognize that brand, but I got them on clearance. And then we're going to use some of these little wood slices. There's a lot of different things involved. We're going to use some really cute stencils to create these little patches, is what I'm calling it. And it's the Freedom Mini Set. And I'll show you those real quick, and then we'll talk about the patches idea. I love the USA, red, white, and blue. This is adorable. 4th of July. Let freedom ring. There's 12 little pieces in here. And this particular stencil that we're making the patches with, it has been sold out for a while. It just came back yesterday. Line that I love. Freedom, 1776. So we'll be using some of those. Those are great. And then we're going to be using some all over patterns. And we're going to be using red and blue ink. And because we're going to be doing small little bits, I'm going to introduce you to these Paintbrush Squeegees. I don't know if you're aware that they exist. They come a set of 5, each with a different little point. And these are great for working with little stencils and getting into small places. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember back when we made these ball caps. We made them with patches because it's so much easier to stencil on a flat piece of fabric like this than to get a good stencil impression on a cap. So, so this is the idea, is making patches like I did for this hat. And I'll look for this video and probably repost it this afternoon. This is part of the Faith Mini stencil. Anyways, okay, so So let's start at the beginning. And I have a bunch of stuff out to show you as we're going along. All right, well, the first thing is to create your stars. And you can do it on the plain canvas like this, or you can do it on the red ticking or the blue ticking, or really whatever fabric you want. But I basically just use my little star and a pin to trace it on my piece of fabric. And I'm going to cut that out. And you're going to need two, a front and a back. So we're going to just, I'm just going to show you this part because I have other pieces of it more fully prepared. And if you possibly can, when you're cutting these out, cut out 2 or 3 at a time because it's just a time saver. And most likely you're going to end up trimming these pieces once you glue them together, so don't worry about having your cutting be perfect or be exactly on the lines. Okay, I wanted to show you this one just so I could show you on a plain piece of canvas how to get your basic star. This would be, in my opinion, it's the back, okay? But what I did is I have created a whole bunch of different canvas fabrics using various all over pattern stencils like this. We'll probably do this one on top of this star. This is called Retro Flower. This one I think is called The Mask. This leopard is adorable. Mini Buffalo Check, my favorite, Victorian pattern, polka dots, lace and berries. This is the new butterfly. This is now becoming one of my favorites. It's called Flower Power. This is the little harlequin or diamonds. This is the big check. And there's more. Magnolia has a whole, they're definitely, they make the best all over pattern stencils, I think. And those, in my opinion, are the most versatile because you can use them all year long. But anyways, so I made a bunch of fabric about a month and a half ago when we made these stuffies. And I called them Split Heart because I did the heart with 2 different pieces of fabric. Aren't they cute? And I made these to be bowl fillers, to go in a dough bowl or something. Or you could just set them on top of a book, whatever you want. But when I made that, I made a whole bunch of fabric. And how you do that is you just lay your stencil on top of a big piece of canvas. You choose what color you want, and you just push it through the holes in the stencil. You let that fabric dry. These are smaller pieces because I've used some of it. And then you're going to heat set it with an iron. But here's some plaid. This is, and I'm hanging on to the little bits and pieces that are left over because I'm going to use them. Polka dots, another plaid. This is the lace and berries. This is the Flower Power. I used all of my Victorian one. But let's go ahead and use this on this piece of canvas. And this, so this is called Retro Flower. Let me think, what color was I going to do? I was going to do blue. So I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to go back and do the fun part, which is assembling everything. And it seriously is fun. I don't know if there's any specific flower here that needs to be the center, but I'm just going to put it on like this. Okay, these are adhesive. They're reusable many, many, many times. And you're probably going to want ink for this project because it's fabric. And then you're probably going to want to heat set it with an iron. And I say probably because you could get away with using chalk paste because these aren't going to be handled very much. You're not going to put them in the washing machine. So if you have red and blue chalk paste, you could try using that. But I just am in this habit of always using ink when I'm dealing with fabric. Because then once I heat set it, I know it's on there for good. Okay, so this is ink. The inks from Magnolia have white lids. And I'm getting down to the bottom, but I have a new jar on its way. This is called Berry Blue. So I'm just gonna plunk some ink on here. I'm gonna use my squeegee. I'm just gonna push it through the holes on the stencil. It's so easy. There is a little, you do need to practice just a little bit to really fully get the knack of it. It's like riding a bicycle. You know, the first time you rode a bicycle, you probably crashed when you were trying to stop and skinned your knee and told your parents that you were never going to ride a bicycle ever again. And sometimes people have those kind of experiences the first time they try stenciling, but then after you do it a few times, you're like, oh my word, this is so super easy. Okay. I am going to need to clean up my fingers for sure. And we'll come back to this because we're going to do some smaller little pieces too. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And I'm going to just pull it off. It's such a cute stencil. This is very happy. And here it is. Just lay it down. I'm going to plunk this face down in a little tub of water over here until I can get out to my kitchen and I can rinse it off. So this is what we just made. I don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to set it over. Where am I going to set it? I'm going to set it on this piece of parchment paper right here. And I'm going to clean the ink off of my little silicone crafting mat real quick. But, so to start this project, you would make whatever fabrics you want with red and blue ink. And if you have some of the pattern stencils from Magnolia, then use what you have. For sure, because any one of them would work. All right, then we're going to make the patches. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I can find my little patch piece. Where is it? I have too many things on my desk. Oh, here it is. It's on the floor. Okay, so I love working with canvas duck fabric because you can tear it. You just make a snip wherever you want it and it will tear straight. Then you can fringe that up just by pulling the strings to get it however fringy you like. So here's a little square right here. And I'm going to just pick out one of the pieces from the, what is it called? Is it called Freedom Minis, I think. I want to do one that has, let's do this one because I want to show you how easy where did I get the silicone mat? Okay, my friend sent it to me, but you can order these on Amazon. Just put in the bar to search silicone baking mat or silicone craft mat. They come in all different colors, all different sizes. She got a big one. I think she got hers off of QVC or something. And so she just gave me a piece of hers. But people are always asking me how big my piece is, so let me just tell you. You can order whatever color you want from Amazon, whatever size. This is about 24 wide by 15. And you can get whatever color you like. They're great because nothing really sticks to it and it protects your surface and it's great. Deb is the one who sent this to me, Deb Rossboy. Deb, you have no idea what you have started with this silicone mat. Oh my gosh, and I love it. I use this almost every single day. Seriously, and the other side of it has a grid, which is really cool. Okay, we're gonna use this one. It says Land That I Love, and I'm gonna show you the Paintbrush Squeegees. They are great for getting in these little nooks and crannies. All right, on the American flag, the stripes are red and the stars are blue. So I'm going to do the stars first, and basically you're just going to grab a little bit, put your glasses on so you can see what you're doing. I might also do the post blue. And I'm going to do the words that say Land That I Love in blue. So you can see how nice these are to work with, especially when you have small areas that you want to get into. It's the tip of it, it comes 5 in a set, and the tip is flexible, kind of like the squeegees. Okay. So here is the blue. If I can get it picked up, here's the blue. And I'm going to clean that up in just a second. Let's grab some red. And I'm going to do the stripes. When you're working with these, you are going to put your medium, whether it's chalk paste or ink, you're going to put it on a little bit thicker than what you ordinarily would do. And that's just because it's hard to be super precise when you're dealing with a very little area. So I don't come back and try to scrape every single bit of extra globs off, because I know if I did that, I would mess it up. And sometimes you are going to smear one color into the next, and there's just nothing you can do about that. Okay, we're almost there. So I just created a bunch, I call these little patches. I created a bunch of these this morning while I was working on this project, getting everything ready to go so I could show you some finished and show you the different steps along the way. And I just tore a bunch of little pieces of this canvas And that's what it looks like. And I'm going to hope that it's somewhat decent. And it is. Okay, I did get a little blue into the stripes on the flag, but shoot, it's hard to be perfect. Okay, so let's set this over here since it's wet. Let me get this off my fingers, and let's go to the fun part, which is embellishment and putting these together. Okay, behind me is the start of a banner. And I'm just using some of this blue and cream colored rope that Dollar Tree has with their beach stuff this year. And this is just the start, but it's gonna have 3 of these adorable little stuffed stars on it, and then we'll come back and we'll add more to it probably tomorrow. So let me show you what I've got. And I'm just hanging them with some of these. So this is one that I made, and I put the patch on there with glue, and I stuffed a little bit of stuffing under that. I'll show you that. And then this is just a little heart that I cut by hand out of a piece of this fabric that I made. And here's this other one. This is blue ticking with the canvas stuck on the back and the little patch that says "Let Freedom Ring." And then I cut 2 hearts by hand out of some of the fabric that I made. And I stuffed all of those things, and I'll show you right now how to do that. Oh my gosh, my craft desk is full and overflowing. Okay, so this is going to be a set. And I just kind of pinned everything together so I could visualize it in my head. And I have 2 little hearts that I cut out by hand. They're not the same size. This is some of the canvas, some of the ticking. This is the back, and it's a piece of the plain canvas. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to decorate the front of it. Okay, so I am using my low temperature hot glue gun, and for this project you're going to be actually putting your fingers into, not into the glue, but like right where you're gluing it to push the pieces together. So I recommend that you use the low temperature glue gun. And I feel like this Cool Shot, which is under $10, you can get it everywhere. It's a little bit cooler even than the other cool temperature. Put that top piece where I want it. And then I'm going to glue down the sides. And let's grab some stuffing. I'm just going to take a little teeny pinch to start and pull the fibers apart just a little bit. And I'm stuffing them inside of this little part. So this is going to be 3-dimensional and 3-dimensional. It's going to be super cute. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue pushing it down. Can you see how it's, I don't know how to show you, but it does stick out just a little bit. We're going to do the same thing with the hearts. This is not a hard project at all. Each one of these just takes a few minutes, but I wanted to show you multiple projects all at the same time, so I have been working all morning getting this ready to go. I'm going to put a little bit of stuffing in my little heart. And then I'm going to glue down this little bottom part. Okay, and I just stuck my finger directly into the hot glue. And I'm not crying or cursing because using low temperature hot glue just is so smart. It seriously does not even, it doesn't really even hurt to do that, where I have had like the serious blisters when I put my finger in some hot glue. Stuff this one, and then we'll move on to the whole thing. And you're using just a little bit of stuffing just to get a little bit of dimension from the things that you're adding. After we finish this one that's going to go on the banner, then we're going to create one of these. And I'm going to show you how to do different sizes. Okay, so here's the front, and here's the back. And now I'm going to glue the two together. Just get it on there the best I can. And I don't do my glue all the way out to the edges, probably 1/4 of an inch to the edge. I'm going to do almost all the top of it, the points, and then I'm going to leave the bottom open to stuff. And we're going to trim it before we stuff it because it's just impossible to get two pieces that are exactly the same. So it's just inevitable that you'll need to trim these just a little bit. I should get paid for how I advertise that glue gun. No kidding. But the thing is, as one human to another, I have had hot glue guns before, hot glue burns before, and it hurts. And it makes you not even want to craft. So, especially if you want to craft with little ones, this is the best alternative. I do have a hot glue gun, but I really never use it anymore. It's not worth it to me. But you're right, I do talk about it every time, almost every day, because using glue is such a big part of the crafts that I like to do. And I don't know, if you know somebody that works with Surebonder, tell them. Okay, so the whole thing is glued together except for this little bottom. And now I'm going to look around the front and back and look how much off this is. So I'm just going to trim it. And really it's more important what the front looks like than the back. Is decorating for 4th of July. Have an opening there? No. Tell me in the comments if you are. Okay, basically it's trimmed up good enough. All right, and now we're going to stuff it. And I do like to pull the fibers of my stuffing apart just a little bit before I stick them in. It makes it so you can spread it out a little better and it's not as lumpy. And this polyfill that I'm using is one that I guess is for dolls. It's stiffer, which is good, than a lot of the other kinds of polyfill that you can get out there. When you're making a stuffy, you want your polyfill to be, whoops, I just blew out this edge. Take that out and fix that. When you're making stuffies, soft signs, you want your stuffing to be pretty stiff. And I will clean all this mess off of it later. Okay, I'm going to glue one of the little legs here at the bottom. And then we're going to finish everything else through this super teeny hole. You could use some of these dowels to push your stuffing around if you want. I really just want to get it in there as quickly as possible and then move on to the next thing. Well, hey Ginger Stewart, how are you doing? How's the weather in Indiana today? Thank you to everyone who did stars, by the way. Wow, that's so kind of you. I appreciate it. Will duck cloth make a... I couldn't see the rest of your question, Wilma. Canvas duck is basically kind of a stiff, a little bit stiffer, thicker canvas. That's all it is. There's nothing super special about it. And here's something that people ask all the time. Do I wash my canvas before I work with it? No. I want it to be stiff, and I do iron it usually. But it's different when you're using painter's drop cloth. With that, I do wash it twice and dry it twice to soften it up before I use it. But with this canvas stuff, no. I don't recommend washing it before you do anything with it. Okay, I think we're pretty good. So I'm going to just close this piece up, and I'll come back and trim everything so it's super neat. Trim this part right here. Okay, so here's our banner. The start of it. Where's my other clip? Wow. These could also go into a bowl and be a bowl filler. Aren't they cute? And I suppose if you wanted, you could even use some of these little hearts, these little stuffies that we made weeks ago, and you could attach those to your banner as well. But I have another idea, so you'll have to come back for that. You could use this size clip. You could glue these on here. You could stitch them on here. You could use a smaller clip. It's totally up to you. Isn't it cute? I think it turned out pretty adorable. Okay, let's move on to, oh, and before we move on, I wanted to just see if you guys remembered when we did these flowers. This was last year. These were some, or the year before, I think, actually. These were some of my first stuffies. And they're just flowers made out of pretty much the same stuff that I'm using here, with buttons. They're on dowels. And then I showed how to make these little twirly-doos. So I'll dig for that video and reshare it this afternoon in case you want to make these. Whoops, this one's turned around backwards. It was super fun. And it looks really messy now. Okay. Next, we're going to make some of these. All right, and these are just exactly the same thing as what I have going on with the hanging banner. But I didn't close the bottom. I left it open. And let me show you how you do this, and then we'll assemble one. Okay, this is a set of dowels that I picked up at Walmart. You can get these variety packs anywhere. You can even get some shorter ones at Dollar Tree. And then I was trying to figure out how to make this base be pretty stable so it doesn't tip over easy. And coincidentally, this is about the same size as the hole in this little wheel. And then just to keep it sort of natural looking, I needed a flat something to glue it on, or I could drill a hole in a block or something, but this is just way easier. So what I did was, first thing was I glued my wheel to the little wood round. And then I'm going to make sure that, in fact, this will fit in here. And I'm going to put a teeny bit of glue in that hole and stick my dowel in and push it down. And there you go. I would probably do 3 of these. Let's take this out because we're going to need it. But for right now, we're just going to work on 2. And then all you do is in that little hole, you're just going to kind of thread it till it goes all the way up to the top of that point on your star. And I thought that it would be cute if these stars were different sizes. Okay, remember we started with this Dollar Tree shape as our pattern. So when I traced it on to my 2 pieces of fabric, the one that I made and the one that is just the plain canvas, I cut in a bit, and I'll show you. I didn't do a very good job, but I cut it a little bit smaller. I cut inside of the place where I traced, and I really cut this point off. Too short, but it doesn't matter. So this is how I'm making a smaller version. And this is the Lace and Berries fabric. It's really cute. Okay, what do I want to have be my top? I want this to be my top. Alrighty, so let's do our little patch. I made this before I came live. It says red, white, and blue. And I cut some little hearts out of that red fabric that I created, because I thought that would be super cute on here. And so let's glue our patch down first, and then we'll stuff it. You can place it absolutely wherever you want. It can be on there straight or winky wonky. That is just personal preference. I'm going to stuff this. Just a little bit. Then I'm going to glue it closed. So I left the bottom open. Let's see how quick these come together. Sorry. All right, and then let's do our little hearts. What is everyone saying? Sheila says it's getting hot in Texas, but she loves the weather. It's getting hot in Georgia too, and the heat is good for me. It's the humidity that is, and it's just starting to get so humid so early in the year. But I love summer too. So I glue my first little heart on. We'll stuff it. And then, whoops, I need to glue a little bit further down. So I just love stuffies. You can make anything you want, seriously. I've made stuffy carrots for Easter. I've made stuffy candy corn for Halloween and fall. We made stuffy pumpkins. We made stuffy ornaments for Christmas. And I really like using the pattern stencils. I'll go through those one more time before I'm all finished, just to show you. Because you can, just by the color and the shape of your little stuffy, you can change it up. Like I could use these exact same fabrics, the same stencils, but do it in orange and brown, and it would feel fallish. I wouldn't do a star shape. I would obviously do a shape that's more like a fall shape. But anyways, I think they're super versatile. I like using this kind of a stencil much more than one that is super specific to a season, because I just think you get more for your money when you do that. Okay, and let's glue our little star together. Okay, this makes more sense. I am either having a hot flash right now, or my lights are hot. It's probably my lights. I'm going to turn on the fan. It's probably a combination. I'm having a hot flash and my lights. There's two big lights behind this, and then this ring light to make it bright enough here in here so that you guys can see, and it does have a tendency to really heat up the room. Can you guys see how quick these come together? And they cost, oh gosh, just pennies, seriously. Just the price of the ticking fabric and a little bit of ink. And the stencils are reusable, so they're not a one-time only deal. And then your stuffing, and then whatever doodads you might use with it, but super affordable. Okay, I'm going to start stuffing. We're not going to close this one up all the way because we're going to make it so that it can go on this. And I think for storage purposes, after I take it down, these would look super cute on a bookshelf. just on your kitchen counters, on your mantle. When I go to put it away at the end of the season, I'll pull this out and lay it flat, and it'll just make it easier to store it. So that's why I'm not gluing this into the star, and why I'm not closing that little teeny gap at the bottom. Super cute. Okay, let's close this little leg of our star up. Oh, and I didn't trim it. Dang, I forgot. Let me just trim this one little point that looks messy. Okay. It is easier to trim the places where they don't match if you do that before you stuff it. Sometimes you get excited and you're stuffing and then you remember, oh shoot, I was supposed to trim it. So you can do it after too. If you guys are liking these projects or anything else that I'm doing here at DiyDreaming, I would love it if you would consider sprinkling this video to your social media if you want. And what is sprinkling? Sprinkling is basically just taking this video, and there's down below is a little button that says share, and you just click that. You can comment on it and say this is a fun video, but it goes basically to, it could go to your personal Facebook page, or it could go if you're in craft groups that allow sharing. Don't share this video to a group if they don't allow that. Okay, I just realized that I glued the spot that I needed to leave open close. Anyways, so that's what sprinkling is. And that just helps me because new people see me and start following. That's all there is to it. Okay. Hey Carletta from Arkansas, how are you doing? Thank you to everyone for sprinkling. Thank you guys so much for the stars. That's super kind of you. Oh, I did trees, I did maple leaves. Deb is Deb Rossbroy. She's a regular here, and she's the person who gave me this awesome silicone mat. She's saying in the comments some of the different things that she's made. I've made a ton of different fun projects out of stuffies. And whatever shape, I mean, it could be a lemon, it could be a watermelon, it could be a carrot. Whatever shape you cut your fabric in and stuff it, and then the color kind of tells you what it is, and you're just using a very generic stencil to decorate. But you still get totally the feel. Okay, I'm going to close most of this bottom up, but not all the way. And then you're going to stick your dowel in and just kind of twist it. Get all the way on here. Where's the other one? Here it is. I could cut this dowel a little bit shorter. In fact, I think I will. Let's do that right now. Let's see. And I'm kind of poking it through the center of the stuffing so you can't see it on either side. And this is what you get. I would probably do one more, maybe another blue to go on the other side. But even two was adorable like that. And then here was the start of our stuffy patriotic banner. So what do you guys think? Let me clean all this junk off. It is a mess, but and I will get good pictures after I'm done. But what do you guys think? Isn't it cute? And hopefully what this video does for you is it just gets your creative juices flowing so that you'll be thinking, oh my gosh, I could easily, you'll see how easy it is, make a this or that. For summer, we could do the exact same idea, but with lemons. And we could use the summer minis or watermelons, or it could be a million different things. Anyways, I hope this gave you a bunch of ideas and showed you how truly easy it is. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me show you the different pattern stencils, because again, I think these are the best investment if you're going to do stencils, because you can use them all year long on a zillion different projects. This is called a diamond pattern. This is called Flower Power, and it's, do I have something with the Flower Power? Oh, here, this is what it looks like. It's a great stencil. This one and the Victorian pattern are my two favorites. This is a new one that I haven't used yet. It's called Butterfly Pattern. This is the lace berries. I got a new one because mine was looking so ragged. There's the mini dots, and it actually comes on a sheet, both pieces, with the plaid and the mini dots. Super great stencil. This is the Victorian pattern. This is my newer one, which I've used probably 5 or 10 times. Love that one. This one is called paw prints and leopard paw and leopard spots or something like that. This one is called Damask. Here's a big plaid. There's a Mandela lace. There's a few others that are really great too. And then Magnolia always has seasonal ones. So like for Valentine's Day, they had some adorable ones that had the word love written on them. All kinds of different things. So if you want a link to that or what we use to make our patches, like this, just say link and I'll send you a link to everything. So you can get there easily. I will get close-up pictures. And feel free to sprinkle and ask questions and all that. Anita says that she has the paw print and leopard. I couldn't read the rest of that. Yeah, okay, one of the viewers is saying that these all over pattern stencils are a good starting point. Cheryl, I'll get you a link. Hermina, I think that's how you say it, I'll get you a link. Judith, I'll get you a link. Jeannie, I'll get you one too. Everyone, just write link, and I'm about to go sit down in my comfy chair, read all your comments and questions and get all that info out to you ASAP. Even if you're watching this on replay, don't hesitate to ask for a link because I will be coming back to this video. And I'm going to see if I can dig out the video where we made these adorable caps with these patches that are just like these patches. But I used the Faith minis. So I'll look for that video and I'll reshare that this afternoon. Alrighty. Oh gosh, now I look a mess. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Let me know how I can help you. And oh, if you haven't done a this or a this yet, or said something to me in the comments, if you haven't clicked on these 3 little dots up here to look to see if you've liked and followed this page and set your notifications, you might want to do all of that. That makes it slightly more likely that Facebook will show you what I have coming up tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Their algorithm thing is a mystery to me still, but you can always come to this page anytime you want. Just go to your Facebook page and type in DiyDreaming, and then once you get here to my page, you can just click on the videos tab and scroll down. I do my best to label everything so you can come back and watch my very first video almost 4 years ago or something 2 years ago, whatever you would like. Peggy, I'll get you a link. Okay, see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you here tomorrow.